Hello. Hi, good afternoon to all of you. I hope you can all hear me.
We can hear you.
Hi, good afternoon.
Great.
Yeah.
Hi, good afternoon, Shivangi. So I'll advise, request one of you to please be on mute. I think Naveen, you are on mute. And please mute yourself because otherwise, some disturbance come from the other end. And yeah, so I think let's just start in next 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. People are still joining in. We'll just start in next 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, hello. Yeah, hi all. I think we can start with the things. So, in the interest of time, we can carry on. So, before I move ahead, right, before we start up with the things, are there any questions anyone has? Any specific doubts, anything question that you would like to discuss before I move ahead? Okay. So, like, yesterday, just to give you a quick recap, right? What we did was we installed the R and R Studio, right? IDE, you all understand what is an IDE. Then we started understanding what the working directory is, what is a working directory, how we can change the working directory, and how we can remove the variables by using the function RM, right? Similarly, we saw something related towards we started off with the term of the data structures, right? And we saw how we can put some comments in the R. Okay, and we studied the different data types that we have, like for example, logical, complex, or these stuff. And then what we did was we were studying about the data structures, right? So the first structure that we started off with was the vectors. Okay, so what are vectors? Who will define it? What are vectors?
It store multiple data but of same type.
Right. So it's a data structure which has the data of same type. Correct.
Same type data.
So now, we created a vector as well, right? Yesterday we started off with that. So what we did was we created a vector by the name of age.students, right? Where we defined a vector which has all numerical data. Similarly, we studied something about the indexing, right? Indexing in the vectors that we have. So how does the indexing start? From which number does the indexing starts in the vectors?
One.
Right? So it starts from the 1. Basically, when you have defined an array and you want to see a specific value, so what you do is you have to write that thing into the square brackets. Okay, so you give the name of that vector, and in the square brackets you have to define that vector, the which value do you want to see. Okay, now what you can also do is these vectors that you create, you can also define the names of the vectors. When I say names, like we had this vector with us. Let me just recreate it once. That was the age of the student. Okay, the age of the student that we created. I just age dot students. Okay, so you can define names also. Like for example, I want to give the name as student 1, student 2, student 3. Okay. Just give me 1 minute, class. Sorry. So like what I'm doing is I'm just now giving the names to the students. Student 3, we have student 4, and likewise student 5. So these names will come in the double quotes. So this is just for that reference purpose that I want to define the names to it, right? So now what will happen is, so I have just defined some names. If I now call my vector, that is age of students, you will see it is giving me some naming convention as well. So 15 is for the student 1. So instead of giving the index number, I have given the name, right? Although I can use the index number also, and or I can refer something by the help of name as well. For example, I want to see the data of a particular student, so I will say age dot students. Say suppose I want to see the data of student 3, right? So I will pass stu3, and if I run this, see, this gives me the data for only third student. I could have also written age dot students, and if I pass 3 over here, that also will give me the same result. So now I can either refer it with the name of the names or by the index number. So that is how the vectors work. So vector are something, the type of a data structure which will store the data of same type only, not beyond that. Now there are some functions that we can use. I'll start off with very basic functions over here. Okay, so I'll start with the function that is the sum. Okay, what is the function sum used for? Sum is used if you want to add up the numbers. Say suppose you want to add the numbers that you have defined in a vector. So you can say sum, and you want to add the age dot students. Okay, so it gives you the sum of that, that is 92. Okay, if you want to find the median, you can find the median of that. If I say median of age dot students, it will give you the median value. Okay, you want to find the mean, you can say mean, and you pass age dot students, so it will give you the average value. So you all can try on your machine, just create the vectors and find the sum, median, and mean of all of that vector that you have created.
Sir, can I ask one question?
Yeah, please.
Suppose here average mean is 18.4 and we want to remove 0.4. I want to get only 18, the round figure. Then what we will do?
So there's the function that we use, that is round. Okay, and then inside this you find the mean, that is of age dot students. Okay. And then what you do is you define, you want it up to the 0 place. So you see, now it is showing 18 only. If I define, I want the output up to first decimal place, it gives you 18.4. You define it the second decimal place. I mean, you don't have the number, so that is why you will not get that. So because 18.4, it just 18.40 only, it shows you up to that point. If had it been, suppose the number, the mean was 18.7, so round will automatically take care of that mathematical, the rules that it will round up the number. It will make it 18.7 as 19. Okay. So what is the difference between mean and the median? If you see over here, we have calculated a couple of things. We have found the mean and we have found the median as well. So we have the median coming as 19 and mean is coming as 18.4. So how the mean and median are different from each other?
Sir, one thing.
Huh?
Hello.
Sir, why we are not storing in a global variable a student name, student 1, 2, 3? Why we are not showing?
Not able to get your point.
Sir, one thing. Scroll up 1 second. Where we got the student name, student 1, 2, 3. So why we are not storing in a global variable? They are storing their ages.
That name is just, the like a code, you can say, that I have given on that. It is just a name. And ultimately the data that we have in that vector is, they are the numbers only. Okay, they are the numbers only. It is just that instead of giving the indexing number as 1, 2, 3, I'm just giving it a dummy name. That student 1, student 2, student 3, so that it is easier for me to see what I'm looking at. This is just a naming convention that I've given onto the vectors.
That not save in a global environment.
So that is, so you can see over here now, it is written, if you see over here, named, it is telling you that this vector is named. So it will not save the names. It will not save the names over here. It will only store the data. If you want to see the names, you will have to use the function. And with the help of this, you can say names of age dot vector or age dot students. It gives you the names information, that these are the names that you have stored on that vector that you have created. So you can see it differently if you want.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Who's this?
Yeah, Sahil here. I wanted to ask
Yes,
a
sir.
question. In the name function where we executed it, so stu1 is associated with the first student, right?
First student.
Yeah.
Right.
So why do we have to put it in the quotes? Because if you are simply associating it with the first element, simply writing it as stu3 without the quotes wouldn't do the trick.
No, because that is a character data. So whenever you work or deal with any of the character type of a data that you have to deal with, you always have to put that thing into the double quotes.
Yeah, but as we saw in the the mixed data where we had put in 1, 2, 3 and A. So over there, the numbers were automatically converted into character data, right? So
Right.
shouldn't the same happen
They
in
will
this
come in the
case
double
also?
quote. Sorry?
Shouldn't the same happen in this case also? For example, if we don't write stu1, stu2, stu3 in quotes, shouldn't it automatically convert it into characters?
No, so that is, because if you technically see, right, that the names that you are defining, they are of character type. These are
Yeah.
some ground rules that you have to follow. Like if you will try, the best way to do is, like if you just define this name over here like this, right? You
Okay.
remove this from here, right? Now if I'm just putting it like this,
Yeah.
remove all of them. You see, first of all, now if you just come over here, so student 1 not found, because now it
Yeah.
is assuming that this is a variable that we are talking of, right? Because if you would have seen that variables, when we define variables, we do not put that into the double quotes, right? We do not define the variable names in the double quotes. They come without the double quotes. Now it is assuming that student one is an object. So that is why wherever you are using character data, that has to come in the double quotes.
Okay. Okay.
We
Okay.
have to
Understood.
see its
Thank you.
implementation, that how we are implementing it.
Understood. Understood. Thank you.
So you know,
Amit, I have a
similarly, if you
question.
want to,
Hello?
yes, please.
Yeah, I have a question. Like
Yeah, I
we
can hear
found,
you.
mean and median. I have tried to find mode. When I try to find mode, it will give me the answer is like what? Just a minute.
So mode, you know,
It's
for
a
mode, you do not have a direct function in this. So for finding the mode, you don't have a direct function. In the base, it is done. You have to find the mode with the help of certain other functions that I'll be telling you in when we will discuss more about this mean, median, mode, and all. So for first, you
okay.
have to use the table function. Table function is something that we use. We found the count and then we sort that data. And that is how we get it. So there is a way
Okay.
of doing it.
Okay. Fine.
Okay, sorry class. Yeah, so this is for something. Now, so let's move on to this, right? So this is something that how we deal up with
So,
the vectors over here. Yep,
sir, if you don't mind, you come on line number 88. It's
line
getting
number
fine.
88.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Oh, sorry, sir. Wait. 87. Sir, what means C?
Sorry, I'm not
87,
getting
sir.
your point.
What does it mean that C? C for what?
C means combined. C stands for
Combine.
combined, right?
Okay,
Like
sir.
if I have written over here, C stands for combined, and we use C to create a vector.
So A student is like a bucket just store of values like 15, 16, 18, 9. Yes, sir.
So when you have to use multiple values, if you have to
Mhm.
store multiple values over there, you will always be creating, you will have to use C over there. Like for example, if you want to fetch a lot of data from here, that is A dot students, you want to see the data of first and fifth student. So you will say C, and in the brackets, you will write 1,5. Now it will give you in the output the data of first and fifth student. Okay. So if
Okay,
I
sir.
run it, so see, first student is 15 years, fifth student is 19 years. So that is how
Okay,
this
sir.
is
Get it.
working in this.
Okay.
Now, if for example, you have to update this vector, right? For example, this vector that you created, age dot students.
So, Amit, just want to ask, what was the shortcut to run the function, run the program after
Control
selecting
enter.
control
Control
enter?
enter.
Okay.
Now, like in this age dot student, right? We have couple of numbers that we have stored. So, for example, if you realize that the age of third student is incorrect, he is not 17 years, but he is 18 years, right? And you want to update that number. So, how you will do it? So, you will say age dot students. You will say age dot student. We want to update the number 2, the student 2 with the number 18. So, this is how you can update that vector as well. Okay, so if you will now check out that age dot students. So what I've done now is I have just updated that student 2's age from 17 to 18. Okay, so this is how you can update the data as well. So you will specify which data you want to update. and you will assign that value as 18. So this is an assignment operator, right? This is an operator, that assignment operator that we use in the R, less than and the hyphen sign. This is an arrow that we use for assigning a value. Okay. Now, and similarly, so now we will be moving on to the next step over here, and we will now be learning something about the matrices. Okay. Now this is the second type of a data structures that we have in the R. So what are matrices? First of all, let us try to understand this. So matrices, they are the two-dimensional structures. Okay, they are the two-dimensional structures that we have, and they also store the data. They also store the data of same type. Okay, that is what basically a matrix is. This is what a matrices are. They are 2D structures, plus they also store the data of same type. So where have you all seen these matrices? Where have you heard this matrix term in the past? In the mathematics, right? In the mathematics, you all would have seen that up, right? You used to create matrix over there, 3 by 4, 5 by 6 matrix that used to tell you that how many rows and how many columns do you have in a matrix, right? Similar, the same is the concept over here as well, but the idea is you can also store a character data or a numerical data or anything like that. So for example, let me show you a quick example over here. Okay, if I want to create a matrix, okay, how will I create it? Let me call this as the name as mat. Okay, I'll call this matrix by the name of mat. I want to create a matrix. So there is a function for that matrix. Okay. In this matrix, what I will do now is I want to store the values from 1 to 25. Okay. In this matrix, I want to store the values 1 to 25. Now, when I have written this 1 to 25, you know, in the R, when you use this icon of this, what do you call it as this, the colon over here, right? When you say 1 to 25, this actually acts like a sequence. And there is also a function in the R that is called as sequence. If I say seq sequence, I want to publish a sequence from 1 to 5. Okay. So if you will see, it will generate a sequence of 1 to 5 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Similarly, if I write the same thing like this, sequence 1 to 5. Okay, this will also generate the sequence of numbers 1 to 5. So this is something that is called as a sequence over here. Or if you want the sequence to be generated by a jump of 2, right? For example, I want to publish a sequence from 1 to 10, and I am saying the numbers should be incremented by a value of 2. So if you will run this now, you will see the numbers that you are getting now are 1, 3, 5, 7. So these are the numbers that we are getting over here in the output. So this is something that is called as a sequence.
But there must be some difference between the two commands.
No, there is no difference. Both the commands are same. They are doing the same purpose. So either you can define it this way, or you can define the numbers in 1:5, this consecutive way over here. In this command that you have written over here, what happen is you will not be able to define that incremental value. If I say 1:5, so comma, right? So it does not take that value over here. So you have to define it with a comma. That I want the value starting from 1 up till the 5, the value should be incremented by 2. So now you will get it 1, 3, 5.
Okay.
Now you know this matrix that I have created over here. What I'm doing in this case is I am creating a matrix with the numbers from 1 to 25. Okay, this is a matrix that I want to create. So let us quickly create this matrix. All of you create it. So I have created a matrix over here by the name mat. Let us see the output, how it looks like. You can see the mat. It is coming right away like this. All the numbers are coming in one single column over here. All of you please create this matrix first, then I'll explain you what is happening over here.
Amit, actually, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So when we put this mat equals to matrix 1:25, and then we ran it, we get the same result when we ran mat.
Naveen, can you please mute your side? I think you're on mute. Yeah. Sorry. You can please come up again.
I'm saying that when we've created this function mat is equal to matrix 1:25, and we ran this function, why didn't we get the same result in the console when we ran mat? Like, why is there a difference between running mat, matrix, and mat?
No, see what is happening is when I'm executing this command, okay, in this command, what is happening is we are actually we are creating a matrix which is getting saved into this variable. So mat is the name of the variable in which the output is being stored. Then I executed the command mat in order to see what is the data that I have in that, right? So that is why if you just type mat and then you execute it, it will show you that what data was stored in that mat over there. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So now, like as I was saying, that matrix is basically a two-dimensional way of storing the data, right? Say suppose if I have a 5x5 matrix, okay, if I have 5x5 matrix, okay, this is a 5x5 matrix that I have created where I have 5 rows and I have 5 columns. Okay, when you define a matrix works on the form of rows and columns. Okay, you have rows and columns in a matrix. Now, if you see the matrix that we have created over here, how many rows do I have got over here? How many rows and how many columns do I have got over here?
1 column and 25 rows.
Right, so we have got 1 column, 25 rows. Okay. So basically, whenever we define a matrix, first of all, we always define the matrix in the form of R and we define it in the terms of. Can you please mute yourself? Okay. So we have R and C, right? R stands for row and C stands for column. So we always define row first and then we define the column. Okay. If I am writing 2,3, okay, if I am writing 2,3, that would mean I am talking about second row, third column. Okay, I'm talking about second row, third column. That is how we define the R and C in a matrix. So now if you will see this output that we have generated, you can see over here there is a blank and then there is a comma 1 because this is the column 1 that we are talking of. That is why this is 1 coming over here. And in these, since these are rows, right, this is the rows type of a data. So you have 2 comma blank. That means this is the second row, first column. This is the fourth row, first column. That is how you identify the data in a matrix that is created. Okay. Right now, this matrix that I have created, it has by default given you only 1 column. And the reason for that was because I didn't define in the matrix that how many rows or how many columns should I have. Okay. So what I'll do now is I'll update my matrix. I'll create one more mat. I'll call it as mat1. And in this, I'll say matrix. I want a matrix of 1 to 25. I'll put a comma. You see there is a function that is coming n row. By default, number of row and call it is putting it as 1 over there, right? So what I'll do is I'll define n row. N row stands for number of rows. Now I am telling I want 5 rows of data. Okay, I have kind of defined in my function while creating the matrix that I want to have 5 rows of data in it. So if I now run this matrix, what is the type of matrix I should get? What is the type of a matrix I should get if I run this function?
5 by 5.
5 by 5, right? Because we have 25 values. If I'm defining 5 rows, so automatically 5 columns will be created for you. So let us create this. So mat1 is created. Let us see the output. Mat1. And let us check out the output. And here we have this output coming up. So you can see comma 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4, comma 5. So I have got 5 columns and I have got 5 rows over here. So this is how the matrix has been created when I define the number of rows in it.
How is number of rows changing the number of columns? Shouldn't it make 25 rows into 5 rows?
Sorry?
What we did right now is that we gave n row as 5, right? But
Right.
in the
Right.
original
Therefore, number
matrix
of rows.
but in the original matrix we had it as 1 to 25. Agree?
Right.
So
Yeah.
in which it means that 25 is the number of rows and 1 is the number of column that we have. So how is n
No.
row creating
No,
5
no,
columns?
no, no, no. 25 is not the row. 25 is the number. 1 to 25. I just generated a sequence of number 1 to 25. So I said I want to make a matrix where I want to have 25 numbers. Numbers starting from 1 up till 25. So I had 25 numbers with me. And what I've done is I have now broken it into 5 number of rows. Previously I was getting 25 rows. Now I am getting 5 rows. So I have broken that data into 5 rows over here. And now because I have 25 numbers with me, if I'll create a matrix that is row into column. So if I'll have 5 rows, so automatically I get 5 columns. So 5 into 5, that gives me 25 values.
Okay.
Sir, sir, one question. Only square matrix can be executed or any other matrix can be executed?
You can have any other matrix as well, but you have to just make sure that the rows and columns criteria should be fulfilled. Say for example, I create another matrix over here. I say mat2. Okay. In this, what I'm doing is, say suppose I'm defining the numbers from, say suppose let's take the number from 20 to 50. I'm taking the numbers from 20 to 50. Okay. So how many numbers I'm taking now? 30, 20 to 50, right? These are 30 numbers. So if I define the number of rows as n row as 5, so how many columns will I get?
6.
6, right? Let us execute. Sorry, the numbers this has got, eventually to take it from 21. Okay, so mat2. You see, I had defined number of rows as 5. So 5 rows I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I've got 6 columns. So accordingly, the data has been adjusted according to that number input and the number of rows that I have defined. And it is not necessary you can only define the number of rows. You can do the same thing by the columns also. If I create the same matrix over here, I'll call it as mat3. Okay. If instead of passing the number of rows as instead of passing the number of rows, if you want to pass the number of columns, you can type ncol, number of columns. So if you say number of column equal to 5, now you will get 5 columns and rows will be 6 now, right? So if I create this and let us check out the mat3, see, now I've got 5 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the number of columns are automatically adjusted according to that. So now you're getting 6 columns in this case. Okay. So Sujay, we will be taking a look at that, how to import the data from the that is data.
Okay.
Hello. Sir, if we want to align this matrix starting from 21, 22 in the column wise, I mean to say first element will be 21, then second, yes.
21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So very good question. I was actually want to come on that as well. Okay. See, by default, if you will see how the numbers are plotted, can you all see how the numbers are being plotted into this? The numbers are being putted column wise, right? First, all the numbers are coming in the first column, 21, 22, 23. Just take a look at it. If you all would have noticed, the numbers are being entered column wise. First, all the numbers come in the first column, then in the second column, then the third column, and then fourth and fifth. What I want to achieve is I want the numbers to be coming row wise. Okay. So 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So in that case, what you do is you will have to put in a function over here where you will say by row. right? By row equals to true. That means you want to put the numbers row wise. So let us execute this and let us check out the output. Got it? 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and likewise. So you just have to put the condition by row equals to true. So it will input the numbers in the form of a row over here.
Sir. Hello.
Hello?
So line number sir 141. If we are doing 1 ratio of 28 matrix.
Huh?
Yes, sir. Please, can you run?
It will not run.
Sir, if they
It will give you an error, na? You cannot put 28 numbers into the
no, sir,
5
it's
rows.
repeating again. I am saying it's repeating again. So I want to say why we are not coming a null matrix.
Not able to getting repeating as in it will give you an error. Because you have given the numbers from 1 to 28 and you have defined the number of rows as 5, you cannot adjust 28 numbers into the 5 rows and you cannot have that column that way. So that
Sir,
is why it gives you an error.
Sir, my time sir programs won't be run.
Sorry.
So wait a minute.
Hello.
So I give a screenshot in the WhatsApp. Please check it.
In the WhatsApp, I mean, actually, I'm not added in that group. That WhatsApp group, I am not added, so I won't be able to see that. Probably what you can, I think you will not be able to share it over here as well. In the chat section, it doesn't allow you to share any of the files and all. I mean, can you try to come up with the question? Like, just try to come up with the question one more time. If I let me see if I'm able to understand it.
Okay, sir.
You are trying. Why is it not putting some of its value by its own? Why is it not putting the null values? Okay, so let me all give you a task, right? Let me not even probably give you a task. Let us try to do this thing, small activity over here. Okay, so I'll show you what I want to achieve. So first of all, I'll give you all a 5 minutes, okay, in order to think on that, in order to achieve it. What I want to do is I want to create a matrix where I want to have, say, suppose, the temperature. Okay, I want to have a temperature of Hyderabad and of Mumbai. I want to have a Hyderabad and Mumbai temperature. And what should happen over here is I should get what was the temperature on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay. I want to have the temperature over here. Say suppose the temperature was equals to and between 25 to 30, 35. So I want all of you to create a matrix that should give me the output like this. Okay, I should have a matrix which should have the column names and the row names. So you can forget about column names and row names for now. First of all, create this matrix. I'll tell you how to add a row names and a column names just in a while. But you have to create a matrix that should look like this. Are you all trying this? See, I'll give you a hint over here. You know what? Maybe probably what I'll do is I'll do it with you all so that we can do it, understand it in a better way. Okay. First of all, what I'll do is I'll create a vector by the name called Mumbai. Okay. In that Mumbai vector, what I'll do is I'll save some values, and the values are these. So let me copy these values right from here. And if you want, I can put these values on the chat as well, so that you all have the similar values. Okay. So I'll share this value on the chat. So these are the values of Mumbai. Okay. So I'll create my first vector, that is Mumbai. Then on a similar basis, I'll create another vector, that is Hyderabad. Okay. In the Hyderabad, what do I have is, sorry, I've made it the other way around. This is basically Hyderabad. And this is Mumbai. In Mumbai, we have the values as, let me pick up the values and put the values from here to here. Okay, so these are the values that we have in the Hyderabad. So both the two, these vectors are created. First, what I've done is I have created a vector over here, one for Hyderabad and another one for the Mumbai. So can you all see I have the two vectors that are ready into my environment window? Can you see this? I have the Hyderabad and I have the Mumbai as well. So what I'll do now is, first of all, we will have to create a combined vector. I'll have to create a combined vector. So I'll create a combined vector. In this combined vector, what I will do is I will simply specify that I want to combine the value of Hyderabad and Mumbai. Okay. So I'll get one single vector which will have all the 10 values in that.
Combined vector is a variable, or it is a simple, is it a variable combined?
This is a variable that you can define.
It is not a command, no? It is not a command, no, sir?
It is not a command. It is not a command. You can give any name to it. The vector. So anything, anything that I will give on the left hand side, it will always be a variable name only. It will never be a command. Whenever I will write anything on the left hand side, it will always be a variable that I would be defining. Okay, so what I've done now is I have combined the two. So I will get all these values plus all these values in one single vector itself. Okay, let us run this. So if you will now check out the value of C_vec, you will be able to see those values over here. 30, 31, right? In the same sequence. 30, 31, 32, 35, 30, 31. You can see those values over here. In the same sequence, they are coming out now in this combined vector. So I'll just wait for all of you so that you can all do it.
Sir, suppose we want to split the C vector into two rows, then what will you do?
C vector, which
variable C vector, we want to split into two rows. We want to get the result into two rows. Then what will we do?
Okay. So first of all, what is the definition of a vector?
It is a same data type values. It contains same data type value.
No. So the complete definition is it's a one-dimensional array which has the data of same data type. When I say one-dimensional array, that means data will come in one sequence only. You cannot break the data into the rows or columns.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So if I check out the values, I can see all these values. Now, can you all convert this into this format? Can you all convert this data that I've got now into this format now? Forget about these names, right? Forget about these names for now. We will put the names later on. First of all, just convert this vector into this output format. So for that, what I have to do is I will actually have to create a matrix. Okay, let us create a matrix by the name of weather. And in this, I will say I want to create a matrix using what? I want to use the combined vector. All the values that I have in the combined vector, this will be my input. How many rows do I want? How many rows do I want in this? 2, right? So I'll define number of rows as 2, and I will define by row equals to true, so that the output go row by row, right? In first row and in the second row. That is how you will be able to create your matrix. And there you go, your matrix is now ready. Let us check out the output. See, the same output we have got over here, 30, 31, 32, 35, 36. Likewise, we have the same thing which I created over here, now coming over here as well. Got it? You just shared one link. This is where you are sharing that image.
You can see the output of last two. Same repeating 1 and 2.
I mean, which one are you referring to? I'm not able to get it. This you created this one, right?
Yes, sir.
This, so for this, if you see for the mat, what you have got is you have got an error over here previously that the data length is not of subtitle or multiple of the number of rows of 5 over there, right? Then what you have got is, what is this mat?
The mat is a variable vector matrix we are creating in line 30.
So, but in this, if you see, you this you are getting 1:5 and 1:6 that you have created. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it is repeating the numbers 1 and 2 over here. This is this is what you are saying, that it has repeated the numbers in this.
Yes, sir.
So, did you use any other function in this?
Yes, sir.
No, first of all, it is not the correct way, the way it has been corrected. So it will not put up the null values over here. But my first question over here is that the numbers that you have defined over here, just trying to take a look at few of the things on this. Is the together a different thing? Number of rows is 5, and then up to 28 you get it. Matrix over here. Yeah, okay, so it just got to be. See, one thing is that is for sure it will not put up the null value, because the reason for that null is null can be, it is something that can be a character value also, and it can go as a numeric data type as well, right? So that is why what it does is it does not put in the false, which throws the kind of the blank values. It just repeats that value that you would have defined over here. Okay, the numbers that you would have used, that is the sequence that you had already used, it just repeats those number in the case of that matrix that would have been created. So 1 to 28, so that the last two numbers were 1 to 28 in this, so that has just been repeated on this in this case.
Thank you.
Getting it?
Yes, I got it.
Okay, so have you created this matrix over here? This matrix, are you all getting this matrix?
Yes.
Okay. So now what we will do is, for this matrix, I need to define the row names. Okay. So like in the vector, you could define the names. We had a formula of names. Similarly, we have function for the matrix that are called as row names. Okay. If you define the row names, if I say row name, what will be the row name? Like this. So row names of weather, I want to define the row names of weather as, first is Hyderabad. Okay. And the second is Mumbai. Okay. If you see this, I have given the row names. Let us check out the weather now. So this is how this matrix is now looking to me. I have the Hyderabad and Mumbai. Now, similarly, if you want to define the column names, you have a function call names. So all of you, please define the column names now. Okay. So column names will go like this: day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4, and day 5. Okay, that is how I will define the column names for this matrix now. I hope everyone is able to follow up, right? Komal, Jatin.
I have one question.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah.
So in this case, when I typed row names, so there were a multiple of functions that it started showing. So there were row dot names and row dot data and etc. etc. So all these are for different things. Row names is only for the matrix.
Yeah, so all these functions have their own different utilities. The row names is just for defining the row names of a matrix.
Okay, and row dot names is for a different purpose.
Yeah, it has a different purpose over there.
Okay.
Sir, how can we differentiate between how can we differentiate that it is a command or a variable?
I mean, variable names, you will be able to find it over here, right? Whatever you would have defined. And if it is a command, you will actually, I mean, see, as such, there is no perfect scenario where you will be able to find it, because you can actually define any of the, like, if you really want to see it, like if you type weather over here, okay, you will actually see this symbol that is coming over here. If this is the kind of a symbol that is coming, that means it is a matrix, okay? If you will see, if I type over here HYD, if I type, do I have any vector? Right, see, we have a vector over here. Let me type that. If I type age dot student, you see there is a symbol that is coming, this pink symbol. This is a symbol for a vector. But when you have any function that you use, like row names, right, you will get these blue strips over there. So by this, you can identify that these are basically your functions. These are not your the variables that you have defined. So every data type has, every variable has its own type of a symbol. When you define it as a matrix, you will get a small, this table being coming over there, right? When it is a vector, you will find that pink strip coming over there. And similarly, we will be seeing something that is called as a data frame. In the data frame also, you will get a kind of a table structure coming up over there. So that is the way you can identify whether it is a command or it is a variable.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So have you all defined this name weather? So if we check it out now, so I have the proper row names and column names that are defined for this matrix now over here. Now, you know, there was
Hi, Amit. I have a question. Can I ask?
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah, Manu.
Yeah. So actually, so is there any way, like, we have separately given rows and columns, but is it a way like we can generate a random variable and just put it in a matrix? Is there like commands and functions like
Yes,
that?
we have. So we have a lot of commands for them. We have runif and other commands as well, which generates the random uniform numbers that you want to create. So
In
I'll tell you
matrix
that.
form.
So that uniform is something that will create a vector of numbers. Okay.
Okay.
In order to put that thing into a matrix, you will have to use the function matrix.
Okay.
Like in this case, I have defined that vector over here, and I've defined how many rows and how do I want to input the data into it. So I have defined that. But this is a function you have to use.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So now, you know, like whether this weather matrix has been created. Now what we will do is we will learn something that is called as slice and dice of the matrix. Okay, so this slice and dice of the matrix we learned on that vectors also, right? When I was saying when we created a vector, when I was passing that in the age dot students, right? When in that vector that we created, that age dot students that we created, when I say I wanted to see the fifth value, so it was giving us the fifth value over here. Now, similarly, there could be a requirement from the matrix also that you would like to see a specific value, right? Say, for example, the matrix that I have, whether now, because it is a matrix, now I have the flexibility to pass row and column both. So if I say in the second row, I want to see the column, the data that is in the third column. So what will be my output? So when you define a matrix and you have to do the slicing and dicing, you put the things into the square brackets only. But first you define the row number and then you define the column number. So row number 2, that is this, column number 3, that is this. So I'll get the 27 in the output. Right, so I can see 27. So I said I want to see that value that is coming in the second row, third column. That was 27. Similarly, if I say I want to see the data that is coming in the first row and the fifth column, that will give me 31. That is this number. Okay, if you want to see a specific value, right? So this is how you can pick up the number from a matrix.
What if we want to see two values together? Like probably in the second row, we want to see a third and fourth column both. So what will be like with the C command? How will we do that?
Yes, so you will have to use, either you can use a sequence or you can use a C command. So if I say I want to see the complete first row, I want to see the complete first row of the data. Okay, so I'll say 1 comma, I'll put 1 comma and I leave it blank. See, it gives me the first row of the data itself. Okay, if I say whether and I define, I want all the rows of the second column. So it gives you the data from the second column, 31 and 35. If you will see over here, the 31 and 35, these two numbers are coming in the output. Okay. Now, if suppose what I want to do is I want to grab this section of the output. What I want to do is I want to grab this much portion of the output from this matrix. Okay. So how we will do that? I will say whether first I define the row. So how many rows do I want? I want the rows both 1 and 2. So I will say I want the row number 1 and 2. Then I'll put a comma. Which are the columns that I want? I want the column number 4 and column number 5. So I will say C. I want column number 4, column number 5. So if you see now, this is the same data that we have just extracted over here from this, right? 35, 31, 30, 31. So I've extracted that section of that output from that matrix. Okay, making sense to all of you? Anyone, any doubts or questions up till here? Sure, Bhuvan. So I'll just repeat this for you. What I've done over here is I wanted to extract a section of this matrix, right? I wanted to see this much data into the output where I could see, grab only this much section from this complete matrix. Okay. So how many rows and how many columns do I want? I want 2 rows and 2 columns. Okay. 2 rows and 2 columns is something that I want to extract from here. So what I've done is I have specified that thing. That in my matrix whether I want, so first of all, you define the row numbers, right? Which all rows do I want? I want first row and second row because I just have 2 rows only. I want the first row and the second row. Then in the columns, what I want is I will define my column. In the columns, what I want is I want the column number 4 and column number 5. So I will say 4, 5. So I have defined which row and which columns do I want to see in the output. So that is what I get in this output over here. Okay. You could have done the same thing by this as well. You could have written whether in the matrix, instead of writing C, whenever if you have something that is in a sequence, you can always define like this, that row number from 1 to 2, comma, column number 4 to 5. Now, both these statements, right? Both these statements will yield the same result. This statement and this statement, both of them will yield the same result, right? Over here, I'm defining it in the form of a vector using the C command. Over here, I'm using the sequence command, that is colon over here. If you will see, if I'll run this command, it will also give you the same output, right? You can see this was the command that I executed, and this is the output that I have got, which is exactly the same that we have in the previous command that we executed. Making sense to all? Anyone still confused anywhere? Okay. So I think now we can take a short break over here. We'll stop a break. Now, after that, we will see how we can add some rows and columns into the matrix that is already created. We will also see how we can modify the data in a matrix. We will see how we can calculate the means and the sums of the rows and columns. Okay. So before we go to break, anyone think they would like to discuss? Hello, so hi all, I hope you all are back. So let's get started. Okay, so now you know this whether the matrix that we have created. Okay, now I would like to do is that in this matrix, say suppose I want to add a row or add a column, right? There are multiple applications, there are multiple things that can be done onto the matrix, right? First could be, like was something that we have seen, slice the data, right? Which we have already seen how we can pull out the data from a matrix, right? Second thing could be you would be interested in order to know the sum or mean of the rows and columns. Okay. The third thing, you would like to add the row or column. Okay. Now these are the kind of functionalities that you would be interested in terms of doing on this matrix that you would have created. So how we will do it, right? Slicing we have already seen. Are you all clear on how this slicing is happening? How we are picking out the section of a matrix from this variable? Anyone, any doubts on that? Okay. So now what I'll be doing over here is,
Sir?
first of all, we will see how we can see the row means or row sum on the data over here. So what I'll do is we have a function that is called as row sum and row means. Okay, you have a function row means. If you say row means and I put my matrix, row means it will give you the mean value row wise. Like this was the matrix, it will give you the mean value of this, the mean value of this. So you will get two numbers in the output. Let us check that out. So Hyderabad, the average temperature was 31.8. Mumbai, the average temperature was 31. Right? Likewise, if you want to find the row sum, okay, do you have a function of row sums as well? So what this will do is this will give you the sum of rows. So if I put weather, so it gives you the total of the Hyderabad is this and total of Mumbai is this. So you can actually see the row sum and row mean over.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir, sir. Line number, sir, 179. Sir, asking one question.
117,
Sir,
yeah.
yes, sir. Combining 1 and 2, sir, it's mean one values from come in matrix and commas, we combining 4 and 5 come two values. So how we manipulate in two matrix?
You are asking about this row, right?
No, sir.
179, no?
Yes, sir.
So what I've done is, see, when you define a matrix, so first what you do is you give the row that you want to see, right? Then
Yes.
you give the column that you want to see. Okay. So I wanted to see the data of two rows, row number 1 and row number 2. So that is why I have said C1, 2. I want to see the data of row number 1 and 2, comma, column. I want to see the data of column 4 and 5, right? So if you will take a look at this, the matrix that we have. So row 1 and 2 is this. These are the row 1 and 2, and I want the output of column 4 and 5. So this is what you get in the output.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfect. So now similarly, try the two other functions, that is call sums and call means. If you will say call sum, that is the sum of the columns. Okay, so it will give you 5 values, 30 plus 32, 31 plus 35. That is how you will get that output if you use the function call sums. Okay, the total of day 1, total of day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. You can see that output coming up over here.
I have a question. What's the difference between row sums and row sum?
So the row sums is basically both are, you will find multiple functions that have different utilities. So row sum, if you will take a look at it, so actually I have also not used that function over there much. So we will just go to that functions over there. So it gives you that, it computes the column sums across the row of a numeric matrix. So this is what is the correct one. So this is like, it is also something that will do the grouping of the data as well. So that is where this row sum function will be used. So I'll let you know what exactly this function will do. Let me just explore it once.
Okay.
I also not used much. So because there are like these functions are multiple, you will find more than 1,000 functions over here.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now what we will do is, like all of us, now what we have seen how we can find the row sum and how we have seen how we can find the column sum as well, right? These are the two things that we have just seen. Now what we'll do on this is we will be seeing how do we add a row or a column in a given matrix that we have. Okay. So in order to add a row or a column, what we do is we use the function that is rbind. Rbind is a function that is used to add a row, right? It adds a row into that matrix, and then you will have another function that is cbind. Cbind means it is used to add a column into that existing matrix that you have. Okay, so all of you do one thing, create one more matrix. Okay, so sorry, not create matrix, create one more vector. Let us create another vector for Delhi. Right, in the Delhi, say suppose temperature is 33, 34, 35, 36, and 37. So first of all, create this vector, all of you, right? You will just create one more vector. And what we will learn is how I can add this new vector as a new row into my existing matrix. Okay, done. All of you, have you all get this matrix? So let us quickly see that out. Okay, so here is the RStudio. And let me quickly create that vector over here. The vector name is Delhi. And the values that I want to have in this are, they are these. I'll simply copy them up. I'll put this. Okay. So I've just brought all the values. Now what I'll do is I'll create this vector as well. So I've got my next vector, that is Delhi. So now on this, what I'll do is, whether I want to update this is the matrix that I want to update it. So I will say in this weather matrix, I want to rbind. Rbind stands for row bind. In the weather, I should have this matrix plus the del that I have just created. Okay. So if you will see now, this weather and Delhi, they are combined row wise. And if you will check the output now, you will get 3 rows of data in it. And if you would have noticed something very smart over here, when you have used the rbind function, when you used rbind function and you combined the, the array over here, it has automatically picked up that name of that vector del. It has automatically picked that up because in the previous case, right? If in previous case we had to actually give the row names, we defined the Hyderabad and Mumbai as the row names, but now since I was adding one single vector over here, it has picked up the name of that vector over here by itself. Okay. So now I would like to give you all a task. The same way like we have used the cbind, there is a function that is like we have used the function rbind that is used to combine the rows. Similar way, you have a function that is cbind that is used to add a column. I would like all of you to add a column over here, which should give me the average values. It should give me the average values. What is the average of Hyderabad, average of Mumbai, average of Delhi? I want that to be coming as an additional column over here. Okay. So please do that part. Add a new column which should give me the average. Has anyone done this? Okay, Vanu, you have done it. Anyone else? Okay. See, it's quite simple, right? If you want to add it, first of all, what you can do is you can create a variable that is average. And what is that average? That is nothing. That is the row means that you want to calculate. Row means of the weather. You will get a variable that is by the name average, which has three values in it: 31.8, 31.0, 35.0. I'll simply update my weather. Okay. And this time I'll use the function cbind. I want to use cbind, and in this, what I will do is I will say I want weather and I want to bind average to it. There we go. And let us check the output. How does it look? Okay. So we can see that average value is now generated over here. So these are the overall values, and in the last you have the average values.
I did it a bit differently. Sahil here.
Yes, Sahil.
What I did was I took out the means for each place differently. You know, as mean Hyderabad, mean Mumbai, mean Delhi. Then I made a vector which was associated to average, and then I used the cbind function.
That could have also been done, but since we already have a function to calculate the average value row wise, so you would have first created three different variables, then created another vector in which all those three values would have been inserted, and then you would have binded the data, right? So instead of doing so many steps, output is correct, the way is correct. It was just a lengthier way.
Okay. So what you have done is you have simply put in row means as the function.
So row means is a function that gives you the mean value row wise. It calculates
Yeah.
the mean of this, then the mean of this, and the mean of this. Similarly, you have a function column means. Col means that will give you that will calculate the means column wise. You will get 5
Okay.
values in that.
Okay. Understood.
Right. So now what I would like you to all to do is, now you have a updated data which is weather. Okay, this is that you have. Now I want you to create another matrix, and the name of that matrix should be weather 2. Okay, but in that matrix I should not have the average data. I want a matrix weather 2 without this average data. Now I want without this. Okay, I just want this much part of a data in that. That is from here to here. This should not be there. The data should come like up till here, this much.
Weather 2 equals to weather 1, weather. So we run.
Sorry?
Weather 2 equals to weather 1, weather. So we run.
Weather 2 equals to weather 1.
Yes, sir. So program will be run.
But what is weather 1?
Sorry, sir. Weather, only weather. Weather 2 equals to weather. So I was copy the value of weather in weather 2.
That will work. So if you will say that equals to weather, so it will work. Right? So it will, the weather 2 will also have the same output. So you're getting the same output for the weather 2 as well. Right? So it will work. So all the data that was in the weather, that has been assigned to weather 2 now. From assignment always happens from right to left. But what I want is, I just want this much output. I do not want this average column. Done. So Cheshta, you have achieved it. So anyone else? Right now it's quite easy, right? It is just the slicing and dicing of it, right? So what I will do is I will say weather 2. I want to create a new variable that is weather 2. And how will I create it? I'll use weather and slice and dice. What I want is I want all the rows, right? Rows, I want all of them. But when it comes to the columns, I just want the column from 1 to 5. I do not want the column number 1, the 6th column. So that's all. It was just an assignment of that. So you can see average is gone. I do not have the average data. I just got the day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and day 5. That's it. Right. So we have some silent people as well. So Rakesh, Sujoy, Jatin, Ashish. So Shivangi, you don't understand. Okay. So okay, what? So you haven't understood which part is it that you are not clear?
Yeah, the last thing, the average thing, how it just got removed. I don't
How?
understand that.
I mean, how I have removed this average.
Yeah.
Okay. See, you know what you have to do is, first of all, let's break this output into two parts. Okay. So I had a variable with me that was weather. Okay, in which what is happening is I am getting the complete output. This is the output. What I'm now saying you is, so what I was trying to say you over here was that I do not want this particular row in the output, the column in the output. This is something that I want to get rid of. Okay. So first of all, you have to understand, if I ask you that, okay, Shivangi, just show me in the output from here to here in this output. Okay, how will you do it? That is just a part of slicing and dicing. What I want to see is, I want to see all the three rows, row 1, row 2, and row 3. And when it comes to column, I only want to see, so I have 6 columns in this, right? If you see day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, and average. So I have 6 columns in it, right? So 5 rows and 6 columns. This is what I have in my data. So what I'm doing now is I'm specifying that I want all the rows, right? If you see over here, before this comma, I have left blank. Blank means that I want all the rows. In the columns, if you will see, I have specified that I want the column numbers 1 to 5. The 6th column that we have, I do not want that in the output. Okay, so that is what I have defined in the column section over here. So if I'll run this, if I'll say whether I want all the rows, so that I've left it is blank. I want to see 1:5. These are the columns that I want to see. So in the output, you see, I have not got that average in the output. Now what I've done is, this output that I'm getting, I'm straight away assigning this to a new variable, that is weather2. Okay, I'm just assigning it to this new variable. So my weather is intact the way it is unchanged, but a section of that data has been assigned to a new variable, that is weather2. So if you see now, this is created, the command is completed, and if I'll check out my weather2 now, I'll be able to see that.
Yeah,
Now
I
is it
got it
making
now.
sense?
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. It's good.
Okay. Okay. So now just all of you create one more vector, or just create one more matrix. Okay, create one more matrix over here. In this, what I would like to see is, I would like to see the data of day 1, day 3, and just day 1 and day 3 data for Hyderabad and Mumbai, Hyderabad and Delhi. This is what I would like to see as the data. I would like to see day 1, day 3 data for Hyderabad and Mumbai. So you have to create a new matrix. You can call it as any name you want to give it. You can give any name to it. Yeah, Krish, do you want me to repeat the question, or the solution that I explained previously?
सर 217 वाला एक बार दोबारा समझा दीजिए, आपने क्या बताया था?
ये
217
ये अच्छा, ये क्वेश्चन दिया है मैंने आपको।
हाँ जी,
आपको यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन करना है कि आपको, हाँ जी, आपको नया मैट्रिक्स क्रिएट करना है जहाँ पे मुझे सिर्फ डे 1 और डे 3 का डेटा विजिबल हो, डे 1 और डे 3 का डेटा हैदराबाद और दिल्ली के लिए।
ओके सर।
तो आपको नया मैट्रिक्स क्रिएट करना है। ओके, एंड प्लस आप थोड़ा मुझे ये भी बता देना, मतलब बिकॉज इन सम ऑफ द सेशन इट हैपेंस, would you like me to use bilingual language or just stick to English? मतलब आप मुझे बता सकते हो, right? If you feel because in some of the previous sessions it happened, people were not, people wanted me to be bilingual. उनको ऐसा लग रहा था कि यार English, if the entire thing goes into English. Okay.
सर कुछ
right. I'll take it. उनको लगा कि यार कि YouTube की वीडियो चल रही है, तो they were like कि हेलो हाँ जी क्रिश, आपकी आवाज बहुत कम आ रही है, मतलब आई गेस आपका माइक थोड़ा दूर है। I mean your mic.
हाँ जी सर, मैं यूँ कह रहा हूँ कि आप बाय लैंग्वेज यूज करें, कुछ पॉइंट जो है ना समझ नहीं आते। 90% समझ आ जाता है, लेकिन 10% जो है चीजें समझ नहीं आती।
हाँ तो ठीक है, मैं उसका ध्यान रखूंगा। और बाकी ना दिस इज जस्ट यू नो समथिंग आई वुड लाइक टू एड्रेस। जहाँ पे भी अगर आपको लगता है ना नहीं समझ में आया, आपको ये नहीं सोचना है कि यार कि 2 बंदे पहले ही पूछ चुके हैं, मैं दोबारा पूछूंगा अच्छा नहीं लगेगा। ठीक है, अगर आपको लगता है कि नहीं समझ में आया, यू कैन आस्क मी वंस ट्वाइस थ्राइस एनी टाइम्स, ओके, डू नॉट वरी ऑन दैट। तो जो क्या मतलब पिछली बार भी आपको कुछ कहीं पे भी छोटा सा भी डाउट है तो जस्ट गेट इट क्लियर देयर एंड देन।
ओके सर।
So Cheshta, you have done it. So you have got this matrix. Anyone else who is able to achieve this output? Okay, Varun, you have done it. So Varun, can you share your output over here? So what I'll do is I'll simply copy and paste your output and put it here. Perfect. So this is the output of Varun that we are using here. So he has created a new the variable, or he has defined, right? So पहले मैं इसको clear कर देता हूँ थोड़ा सा, just looking very messy. Okay. See, so this new matrix that has been created, इसमें so Varun has defined. तो पहले देखो कॉलम नंबर आ गया, राइट? सॉरी, रो नंबर। रो नंबर हमें कौन सा चाहिए था? हैदराबाद और दिल्ली का। सो हैदराबाद इज फर्स्ट रो एंड दिल्ली इज द थर्ड रो। तो यहाँ पे डिफाइन कर दिया हमने, रो चाहिए 1 और 3। और कॉलम की अगर हम बात करें तो कॉलम नंबर भी हमारे को चाहिए था 1 और 3। सो आई हैव यूज्ड 1, सो बेसिकली वरुण हैज यूज्ड कॉलम नंबर 1 and 3 बोथ ओवर हियर। सो दैट इज हाउ द थर्ड वेक्टर विल बी क्रिएटेड। अगर हम इसका आउटपुट चेक करेंगे, सो वी विल गेट दिस वेदर 3, जो कि एग्जैक्ट आउटपुट है जो हमें चाहिए था बेसिकली, राइट? डे 1, डे 3, 30, 35। And if you want, you know, up ये same output you can also achieve by writing the row names and column names also, right? अभी तो जैसे यहाँ पे वरुण ने क्या किया, सीधा कॉलम नंबर डिफाइन कर दिया, बिकॉज इट इज क्वाइट इजी ऑल्सो कि कॉलम नंबर डालना बहुत इजी है, राइट? सो लेट मी क्रिएट वेदर 4। आप इसको ऐसे भी कर सकते हो, राइट? यू कैन डिफाइन इट लाइक दिस, वेदर 4 जो आपने क्रिएट कर रहे हो यहाँ पे, आप सीधा सीधा रो नेम्स और कॉलम नेम्स भी डाल सकते हो। जैसे आपको चाहिए रो नेम्स में, व्हाट डू यू वांट इज लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, क्लास जस्ट गिव मी 1 minute, okay? Yes. Sorry guys. Okay. So what I was trying to tell you was कि जो हमने यहाँ पे 1 and 3 define किया है, रो नंबर और कॉलम नंबर, right? You could have also done the same thing like this. आप यहाँ पे लिख सकते थे कि आपको डेटा चाहिए रो में क्या चाहिए, रो वाइज हमें चाहिए हैदराबाद और दिल्ली, राइट? I could have written कि रो में मुझे चाहिए हैदराबाद, but spelling, I mean you have to be very careful, right? you want Hyderabad, and you want the Delhi. Okay, and columns में आपको क्या चाहिए? You want the day 1 and day 3, right? तो आप इस तरीके से भी you can use the another way as well, rather than हमेशा index number की जगह पर अगर आप चाहो तो आप अपने row names और column names को भी use कर सकते हो. You can use that as well. If you will run, what has went wrong? Whether C subscript out of bounds. Once again, whether वहाँ चल रहा है सही. Okay, so we have this.
Smaller d here. आपने बड़ा d डालना है.
Right. So now it is created. Thanks, Cheshta, was it you? Okay. So now we can see the same output being populated. So that is small this mistake that we did. Case sensitiveness. Okay. So this is the another way by which you can achieve the same thing. So are we all clear on the metrics now? Vectors, metrics, are we clear on these two things? Yes, class, anyone still having any doubts? Okay, great. So now, what I'll also do is, I'll try to share some exercises with you, okay, so that you can work on them, on the vectors and matrices. That is one thing. And I'll just give you a quick glimpse of very small little topic, that is the data frames. Okay, this is something that I'll talk about, the data frames over here. Now, what are data frames? These are the third type of the data structures that we have. अभी तक हमने सिर्फ दो टाइप के डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स पढ़े हैं. एक था वेक्टर, जिसमें वी हैड वन डायमेंशनल डेटा, राइट. आप सिर्फ एक टाइप का डेटा रख सकते हो और वो भी वन डायमेंशनल. और मैट्रिक्स में भी यू कुड कीप द डेटा ऑफ वन टाइप ओनली. देखो यहाँ पे भी आप मैट्रिक्स में भी यू कैन नॉट क्लब द डेटा कि आप उसमें कैरेक्टर प्लस न्यूमेरिक दोनों रख सको, राइट. यू डू नॉट हैव दैट फंक्शनैलिटी इन द मैट्रिक्स आल्सो. मैट्रिक्स में भी डेटा आपका 2D हो गया है, बट it is still of a same data type. Okay, now when it comes to data frames, now these are the main data structures that we will be using. So हम हर time data frames पर ही काम करेंगे mostly, right. Data frames are, these are two-dimensional structures and they can have the data of multiple types. ओके, तो आपका जो डेटा फ्रेम है उसके अंदर आप अपने डेटा को मल्टीपल टाइप्स में भी स्टोर कर सकते हो. क्योंकि जनरली अगर आपने देखा होगा तो डेटा जो हमारे पास आता है, राइट, द डेटा दैट वी गेट, वी हैव द नेम, द एज, राइट, द हाइट, द वेट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट. नाउ नेम इज कैरेक्टर, एज इज नंबर, height is number, gender is character. So you always get mixed type of a data when you do any sort of a data analysis, right? So that is where the data frames come into the picture. So data frames are something that will help you save the data of multiple types into one single variable. Okay, that is what is called as a data frame. So I'll create one small data frame for all of you so that we can all understand it. तो सबसे पहले दो छोटे छोटे वेक्टर बनाते हैं. एक वेक्टर बनाते हैं by the name of already हमारे पास हैं कुछ वेक्टर्स, तो हम उन्हीं को यूज कर लेते हैं, right? We have age of students. ठीक है, एक वेक्टर मेरे पास ऑलरेडी है age dot students, जिसमें वो स्टूडेंट्स की एज दी हुई है. एक हम कॉलम क्रिएट करते हैं, एक और वेक्टर क्रिएट करते हैं जेंडर. ओके, जेंडर में हम क्या सेव करेंगे? मेल, पहला स्टूडेंट मेल है, सेकंड इज फीमेल, थर्ड इज मेल, फोर्थ इज मेल एंड फिफ्थ इज फीमेल. ओके, so I'll create this also. So I have a gender with me as well. One variable is gender, another variable is the age of the students. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll be creating my first data frame. Let us call this data frame as the info. I'm creating a variable by the name info in which I'll be saving this data. So I will say data.frame. So for creating a data frame, you use the function data.frame, and in the data.frame, first column that I want is age of the students. Then what I want is I want the gender of the students. Okay. Now, if I'll run this, you will notice this has been created over here at the top. You will notice this data frame has been created. Info. It has 5 observations. Observation means it has 5 rows of data and 2 variables. 2 variable means 2 columns. One column is age, another column is gender. Let us take a look at it. Just click on this and you will be able to see the data now. This is the age of the students and this is the gender of the students. This is what a data frame is, right? Data frame is something that has a data of variety of types. Okay, class, are we all clear on this? So this was just a glimpse that I wanted to show you, right? Definitely we will be deep diving into it more, right? We will see more of these different functions that can be applied onto it, but that is where we will take a hard stop for today. Okay, so we have got the glimpse of it, and I'll do one thing. I'll create a quick, I already have a drive, so I'll share that link with Navani ma'am, so she will share that link with you so that you can download some files for your own extra practice and some practice assignments you might will be having on your LMS as well. So you can pick that from there and start working on it. Okay, guys. So see you all next week. So please practice till that time. Explore R more and more. You can watch the videos in case you have any doubts anywhere. Okay, class. So that's it. So see you next week.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Yamini. Thank you, everyone.